Lila is looking for a second date update with a guy named Shane. Hey, Lila, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you?
Excellent. So tell us about Shane. How'd you meet and how'd the first date go? We'll go from there.
Okay. Well, we met through friends.
The old-fashioned way.
Yeah, not online or anything. And I've been working at home since this crazy corona thing, and I'm just with my 3 cats all the time. And I just started kind of just going crazy, basically. I was like losing my mind because I can't see any of my family because they all have pre-existing conditions, and I just got so lonely. And some of my friends have been like hanging out and going to do stuff, but I wasn't really doing anything. I just wanted to, be safe. And then I guess just for like my mental health, I did need to have some contact with some people. So I had a friend. Sure. Yeah, because like honestly, I was just like really down the dump. It's hard to be alone all the time. And I had one friend that she was just kind of encouraging me all the time, like, you should go out, it'll be okay, or I'll, wear a mask, I'll be safe. And her boyfriend had a friend that was single that was like hanging out with them, and he was cute, and she thought I would like him. So she like set us up on a blind date. And it was like a really big deal for me. I know blind dates are a big deal anyway, but I had not been around anybody for so long.
Well, you're lonely when you're like down for a blind date. It's like,
I'll go out with anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
Sure. Yeah. Where are we going?
Blind date?
What time?
Thought you'd never ask.
So, right? Because like a year ago, I would have never agreed to go on a blind date.
Yeah,
so
sure
yeah, it probably was a sign of like my desperation. But the good news is it was a great blind date. I was nervous at first, because you really don't know, and I did trust my friend. But the second I saw him, I just was like, okay, this is going to work. I was really attracted to him. And we talked for like 3 hours. We had such great conversation, and there was no awkwardness. There was no like weird, sometimes when you first go out with someone, it can be a little uncomfortable. There was none of that. It was just like super comfortable. And he was like really flirty. And I don't know how you can sit there and talk to someone for 3 hours and like not call it a great date,
Right.
But at the end, I did get like a little bit of a weird vibe. It was just like kind of strange. Like I thought he was coming in to kiss me.
Ooh.
But then he just kissed my forehead.
Oh. Okay.
And like tapped me on the shoulder.
Oh.
I was like, okay.
Yeah,
so that was like my
shoulder
one
tap.
indication. And it was like the forehead kiss and the tap on the shoulder.
Yeah, that's a big old no-no.
Yeah, it was just kind of like dismissive or something. I just felt really weird about it. But everything else on the date was great. And like I said, we spoke for so long, and I don't know what happened. He never called me. He never texted.
How do you sit with someone for 3 hours and then never talk to them again? Like, isn't that kind of weird? Like
Are you telling me you never did that when you were dating?
3 hours? Maybe drunkenly. Were you guys drunk?
No. We each had I had like a glass of wine, and he had a beer, and no one was drunk at all.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
So I texted him twice, but he didn't. He never answered, and I wasn't going to text more because I don't want,
Yeah.
Yeah, because you want to call us so we can be the stalker.
Much better
I get
way to let us handle
When it
it.
requires a higher level of stalking, that's where you bring Jeff and Jen in.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Understood.
I'm just confused because, I don't know how you can talk and have that big a connection with someone that you can talk to them for that long and then just, never text them back even. It'd be one thing if we could barely talk, if it was just awkward and maybe it was like, hi, bye, nice meeting you. But it was like,
Okay.
I don't want that.
Anything else you think we need to know before we take the break and make the call?
No.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm hoping for. I just really want to know,
Yeah, absolutely. We understand that. That's why people call second date update. And sometimes it's a foregone conclusion. They know the likelihood of a second date is slim. We're not saying that's the case here, but they would at least like a reason, an answer, an explanation.
Something.
And every now and then it results in a silly misunderstanding and they go out again and Relationships have sprouted from this. You never know what's going to happen on Second Date Update. So, Lila, we'll take a break here. When we come back, we'll call Shane and see what was going through his mind in those final minutes of your date and the time leading up as we continue. Jeff and Jen, Cincinnati's Q102. All right, if I understood this correctly, Lila met Shane kind of on a blind date. He was a friend of a girlfriend's boyfriend. Did I get that right?
Yeah, my friend's boyfriend's friend, and it was a blind date. Exactly.
There you go. And a year ago, Lila never would have considered a blind date, but because many of her family members have been in lockdown because of pre-existing conditions and COVID and just the world we're living in, plus she's working from home, hey, you get a little lonely. It's perfectly understandable. And when she met Shane, boy, I'll tell you what, talk about a blind date that went well. They talked for 3 hours. It was very comfortable, great conversation, didn't feel awkward. He was kind of flirty. But then at the end, she did sense, and we always ask that question, hey, did anything weird or do you remember anything awkward that happened? And you did say that it felt weird at the end. There was a weird vibe where he kissed you on the forehead and kind of gave you a tap on the shoulder and then just completely ghosted after that, right?
Yeah, I was expecting like a real kiss.
Yeah, because he seemed flirty during the date, but then weird in the end, and you're not really sure what turned the tide.
Yeah. Super flirty, great, fantastic conversation. I don't know what happened.
Okay. You ready to call Shane to find out?
Yes.
All right, let's do it.
Hello?
Hey, Shane?
Yeah.
Hey.
Who's this?
It's Jeff and Jen and Fritch and Tim at Q102. We got you on speakerphone, man. How you doing?
I'm Q102?
Yes, sir.
Holy moly. I listen to you guys sometimes.
Well, thank you. We appreciate that.
You do the dating thing, don't you?
We do a dating thing. It's called Second Date Update.
Oh, man.
Are you down? I mean, we can make it fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down, but I'm not sure she'll want this on the air.
Why?
Well, I mean, did she tell you what she does? Like what her side hustle is?
What her side hustle is? No. I don't even know what her main hustle
We
is.
didn't even talk about it, did we?
She flipping houses? She doing voice work? She a landlord?
No, she writes porn.
She writes porn?
Yeah, her stuff gets published in forums, and she even writes adult films.
Oh, sweet.
Really?
Sweet.
Well, yeah, I know it sounds kind of hot, right? If it was your everyday porn, maybe, but oh God, she writes this really out there weird stuff like tentacle porn and other freaky fetish stuff that I can't really say on the
Like
air.
fan fiction stuff?
Yeah, with just really interesting, creepy parts that most humans don't have, and
Tell me more about that.
maybe. I mean, she has written some films, and I just don't. It scares me a little bit. I don't know if she's into that stuff herself. I mean, if she is, I'm definitely out. But even just the fact that she knows enough of what to write about, I'm kind of. I don't know if I can go there. Not my thing.
Don't you
Her
just
level
get
of
to knowledge is intimidating to you. Like, how much did she share? Like, how did she share with you any of her writing or direct you to any of her
She
films?
shared some stories. I mean, she didn't share her actual writings. We were out, but she told me all the different things she's done, and it was pretty shocking. I mean, here was this nice woman with 3 cats, and then boom, tentacles up.
We've heard about tentacle porn before.
Tim is the tentacle porn expert on the program.
My friend Dave is into it.
Go ahead, Lila.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
You seemed pretty interested in it on our date. You weren't this judgy then.
What specifically was making you feel so uncomfortable, Shane?
It just was shocking. It's not my thing, and I just
What's not your thing?
that kind of out there porn. The fact that she knows so much about it.
I'm a writer. That's what I do for a living. You're super judgmental. What do you do for a living? Are you a perfect person? Or what porn do you watch? You seem so fascinated by all this on our date. And if you were uncomfortable with it, I wouldn't have kept talking about it. You seemed cool with it.
I actually am legit fascinated by this because I have a friend, Rachel, who lives in New Jersey, and she writes erotic literature, like published books.
Short stories
fiction,
or long form
both,
or
all of it. And
so is this her full-time job?
it's her full-time job. As a freelance writer, she writes about other less racy topics to kind of pay the bills, but this is her passion project.
All fiction?
All fiction, but inspired by this, that, and the other thing, I'm sure. And she ventures into areas that she doesn't actually participate in or do herself, but this is a creative outlet for her. She's got a wild imagination. She's wickedly talented, a great storyteller, an excellent writer. And so
she's great with the adverbs and adjectives.
Yeah, I think it's kind of cool, but it's interesting because she talks about her relationship with her boyfriend, and they're like the most normal, she would even say bland couple you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
Missionary on Sundays.
She gets it out of her system on paper.
Yeah,
but
it's
also
sort of an outlet
isn't
for
the
her.
glorious part of that too that you can just make it up. Like you can just make up whatever you
Anything
want.
you want. Yeah.
And that's got to be like, even though she's making that stuff up, maybe she's not into it. It just sounds good for the writing, right?
Yeah, I think you can, especially in fiction, I mean, to a certain extent, detach yourself from the content. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be something that's super personal. I mean, obviously there'll be bits and pieces of yourself in it, even if it's just as a curious observer of what you're writing. But yeah, I mean, you can totally write about stuff that you're not into.
It's called being a writer. Nobody thinks like Agatha Christie's a murderer. Like just because you write about something.
Well, I'm kind of fascinated by the fact that you revealed this to him on the first date. Is this something that usually when you tell someone about what it is that you do, that they are okay with it, or do you usually get kind of a little bit of kind of reaction?
Go. Yeah.
No, like that's a fair question because it's not the kind of job you're going to go advertising to everyone you meet because, there is a, adult element to it. I am a writer and most of my writing isn't porn or erotica, but some of it is. And like I said, we were having such great conversation. It was so organic. It just kind of naturally flowed that way. And I felt comfortable telling him. He seemed so fascinated and interesting. I just kept talking about it. People that are like all uptight like him are probably the freakiest. I'm actually like very vanilla myself. I get it all out of my system in my writing, and I'm not that freaky in my private life, And it's usually the guys like him that like act like they're so perfect, that are really the weirdest, freakiest ones in their personal life. Because I have this as a job and I can express myself and I'm comfortable with my sexuality, I really don't have the need to go to extremes in my bedroom. It generates a lot of money for me, and I enjoy it. And I think he's being super judgmental about he can't see himself as somebody that does that.
All right. I got a running date. I got to go.
All right.
Well, hey, we appreciate you taking the call.
Yeah,
thanks
for at least taking the call, Shane. We appreciate it.
Yeah, good luck.
All right. There goes Shane. Shane is out.
What an a-hole. I mean, I can't believe how judgmental he was that he'd sit there for 3 hours. You know what I mean? Just so fascinated and then just like totally dismissed me because of it.
Well, something about that threatened him. Maybe he thought you had expectations of something really wild considering your imagination, and something about that threatened him. Who knows?
Yeah, he's intimidated by it or just uncomfortable with it. I mean, I don't think he was a jerk about it.
No, I didn't think he was a jerk.
Yeah.
I do. Well, I do. I think you should be more real. If he was so judgy about it, he should have kind of said, like, hey, this is a new topic. I'm uncomfortable. Instead of just, like, sitting there listening to me talk about it for 3 hours and then rejecting me because of it.
Yeah, you had quite a reaction to it.
Yeah.
And it's rooted mostly in the fact that you feel misled.
Yeah. If he was talking about something that made me uncomfortable, I would have been more upfront about that, not just, like, led him down a road of 3-hour conversation to talk about it when I knew it was something that's dishonest on his part, I think. And again, a sign that maybe he's not comfortable with himself.
Well, or he might have been a little bit intimidated by you because you got feisty really fast out of the gate, and he might have picked up on that, personality trait of yours. It might have been scared to say something because he didn't want to get yelled at in the restaurant. Who knows?
Or he
I know
he might
it
have
wasn't
thought
a match. I know it's not a good match.
Right.
he might have thought it was
I know
really
that.
interesting. but then made the decision afterwards. I don't know.
Is there any one particular brand of erotica you enjoy writing more than others?
Well, what I was mostly telling him about on the date and what he seemed fascinated is, I don't know if you're familiar with tentacle porn.
Tim is.
My friend Dave told me about it once during a game of Cards Against Humanity.
I've never met this Dave person.
And then he started Googling it,
That
and
led
now
to
it's his
Jen's
thing.
interest, where we did a quick Pornhub search and found a couple short clips which answered a lot of questions in a short amount
Is
of
it
time.
just like you making love to an octopus, or what is it?
There's more to it than
Or an
that.
extraterrestrial.
I mean, you're taking like,
That's
tentacles,
a very,
and they
very big Cliff's Note version.
kind of just
Octopus
it's
love?
interesting.
I mean,
Ew.
think about you and Scott with 2 hands. How would it be with 8?
Oh. Is it all the people?
Oh, see, now.
Because you can stick things in all different places at the
So
same
it's
time.
multiple people. So the people
Can
of
be.
the tentacles.
No, there's
No,
literal
instead
tentacles.
of 2 arms and 2 legs, like tentacles, like rubbery,
Now I have
slimy.
to Google that.
It's not real.
Right?
It's not a real octopus,
no,
of course.
Correct.
God, I hope not.
God, although I bet that happened.
Oh God.
Lila, thank you for your patience
Thank
with
you,
us.
Lila.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Clearly, we need to read more.
Or hang out
We
with
need
you
to get
two
out
more.
more. But it's interesting. Different
Okay.
strokes, right?
I have
That's
to
right.
go.
That's why they make ice cream in different flavors, right?
Thank you, Aunt Jen.
I'm
Some
here
people
for
like vanilla, some people like moose tracks.
you. Ew.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on Second Date Update, Lila.
Okay, thanks for helping me out, guys.
Anytime. Best of luck to you.
Thanks.
All right. If you need our help with the second date update, send us an email, Jeff and Jen at WKRQ.com.